Alright, welcome back everybody to LiveStream under the Moonshine. Tonight is going to be episode 306 of LiveStream under the Moonshine. Now, let me bring it up here. Part 14, guys. And part 13 was really dramatic, really intense. Got a lot better than part 12, which is a little bit lackluster. And like I said, guys, we're going to have some parts of these that aren't as good as some of the others. As they continue to build the characters and build the relationships and explain, the history of everybody and all that. So, we're back, guys, and this visual novel has been really good. The writing has been really good. It seems like it continues to throw us for loops. And I know that I am thoroughly enjoying this this live stream. This visual novel, rather. Alright guys, without further ado, we're going to get back into, we are still in Marianne's point of view, and we saw in the last episode her first time visiting the mansion, and she was left to explore the mansion after meeting Hannah and Luke. We also did learn that, I guess, Hannah reminded her of a past relationship she had with a blonde that I guess reminds her much of Hannah. So, yeah, her name was Lorraine, I do believe. And I guess Lorraine had told Marianne that she loves her, and she wasn't able to return the same words, even though she felt that love, and it caused a drift and a death, I do believe. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. In fact, I might have to go back and watch part 13 again. But rather than doing that, guys, we're going to go ahead and continue on along with Marianne's point of view. We saw in the last episode, she had been at the mansion pretty much the whole day. She had a horrifying recollection, or not a recollection even, just kind of a twist where she walked into a room and everything turned bloody as soon as Hannah had walked away, and she had seen some horrific events that she believed and that made her feel like it was Lorraine, her relationship gal from the past. But indeed, I do believe it was the thing, the zombie thing. And yeah, she's now experienced the horror that is part of this mansion. So, several people have now witnessed this firsthand, and I do believe, without a doubt, that this freaking mansion is haunted AF. So we're going to go ahead and get back to where we left off with Marianne, guys, without any further ado. And I hope you guys are enjoying this visual novel as much as I am. Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Oh yeah, we were going to... Remember, she had left the mansion. She had got a ride most of the way and then walked the rest of the way home. She got a ride from Luke and Hannah. And she was tired, she was exhausted, and now she's falling asleep. And it looks like we might be starting off with a nightmare. Because this sound effect reminds me of when Zach was having nightmares about his mom and pa. So something tells me she's going to have a nightmare about somebody important to her, and of course that would probably be Lorraine. Alright. The wine in the study. And in it, I see her. I see them. Lorraine and Hannah. Yeah. Wow. Like I said, they look alike, Lorraine and Hannah. I think she thinks they look alike, but they don't look that close. The whispering there is so creepy. Oh my god, this is so creepy. And then the blood splotches, and it's almost like they're laying naked together, and they're dead. Wow. Combined with the creepy music and the whispering, like I said, this is just horrifying. What a nightmare. Hannah and Lorraine. So Lorraine and Hannah, and Hannah and Lorraine.
Poor pathetic Marianne. Work, work, work.
Wow.
She'll work herself to death.
Wow.
See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk among themselves with cruel smiles and venomous tongues. or rather to themselves, two heads and one body. A horrible mockery of these women, as if they were the one and the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out, and she doesn't even see it. Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
Oh my. When they say a person has a hard time telling you they're in a dream, it was true often enough. Even with this bizarre sight, even with the obvious implication that this isn't real, I can't help but feel distress. Yeah, that's an evil, wicked smile, and those eyes, man, are just horrifying.
Likely.
Hannah's like, likely.
Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Jesus.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Oh my. Though they speak in each other's ears, tones low and hushed, I can still hear them as clear as day. Their whispers pervade the air, heavy and oppressive. They bury and dig into my head like teeny maggots, worming their way into my skull. What a wicked way to describe their voices, worming their way like maggots into her skull. Jesus, this is a hell of a nightmare. I'm glad I don't have nightmares like this, I'm just saying. It is only then that they take notice of my presence. Oh, look at that. It almost looks like they're looking right at you, the viewer. You watching up there, Hannah and Marianne, the nightmare Marianne and Hannah, are looking directly at you watching. Look at those eyes. And they're looking at me too, but I don't want to, I don't want to fess up to that. They're definitely not looking at me. They're definitely looking at you. Eyes turn towards me, and I can only feel small under their scrutiny. Caricature smiles etch on their faces, mimicking each other's grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Oh, wow. How they're talking at the same time. That's so wicked. That's so fucking creepy.
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite.
Right.
Unless you ask, that is.
Jesus.
Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl. I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
Oh my.
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself. Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
Oh, ouch. She thought I was wrong, impure, abnormal, simply because I loved her. Boy, you think Marianne isn't feeling some fucking inner guilt about Lorraine? Wow. My breath hitches, and I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me, screeching. Oh my. This is absolutely terrifying. The screams in the distance and those faces and... oh my. The mirror that holds them cracks, lines spidering across its surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt.
Oh my god. Guys, this is absolutely terrifying. I might be having nightmares myself after this. This is by far the best scene in the whole visual novel right here, and you guys are seeing it right now, right here. And if this visual novel gets any better than what we're seeing here, and I'm expecting that it will, I mean, it's no wonder that this visual novel has such high ratings on Steam. This is easily one of the best visual novels I've ever read. I hope it continues that way, but I have never played a visual novel. In fact, I don't even know that I've ever played a game. I don't know that I've ever played a game as horrifying as what I'm seeing here in the letter. This is absolutely just terrifying. There's no other word. This is bone-chilling terrifying. I hope you guys are are witnessing the horror and the, I don't know, the spectacle that this game is. Like, it's great. It really is. If you're looking for a horror visual novel, I know I was just saying a couple of days ago that this visual novel was more romance and almost like a Lifetime movie than it was horror. But right now, it's making up for all that lack of horror that we've seen so far in a huge way. Because this is one of the main characters of the game. This is Marianne having a nightmare about her guilt, about a love lost, and a love gone wrong, and somebody, that she feels really guilty about. And you combine that with the presence of this zombie thing in the haunted mansion that Hannah and Luke have purchased. And combining that zombie thing from the haunted mansion with Marianne's own guilt, this is resulting in one absolutely just terrifying nightmare. This is good stuff.
You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell.
Jesus.
You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
Damn. Those words cut deep, even though they're from a nightmare, huh? They look livid. They look pissed. Jesus. And when it looks like they would lunge, she wakes up. I wake, feeling like the wind had been knocked out of me. And with a groan, I squint and find a certain fluff ball sitting on my chest, looking as pleased as Punch. Aww. And she is the overlady of the cats, queen of despair and destruction of nice furniture. That describes a lot of cats, that's for sure. I would love to know how much furniture is destroyed every year, just in America. How much furniture is destroyed every single year by damn cats, clawing at it and sharpening their claws on couches and chairs and everything else that they tear up. I love cats, though. Though I can't stay mad at Her Majesty because it feels like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't even remember what the hell it was about. Probably best you don't remember it. Trying to recall leaves a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember. Yeah, I think I just said that.
Good morning, Baruthio. Who's a good kitty?
Aww.
Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
A content purr comes from my sweet dear before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Mornings before work is always a quiet affair. Shower first, then a mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches, and I always check my work email. The Wrights will be moving in to the mansion today. I don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think they were allowed to start their move, even despite that. Rich people like them will always find ways to get what they want, after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay?
Let's hope not.
And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party.
Mm-hmm.
But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She barely gives me a glance as I say that before going back. She goes back to her own food. Cats. Feel better than humans, most of the time. I could definitely understand why somebody would think that or say that. Too bad I have to work with humans. Right? The place is already busy as soon as I get there. The foreman, one that I've recommended to the Wrights for his work ethic, is early as usual. Already he's instructing men here and there with bigger loads. I have no chance to talk to him as Miss Wright appears and greets me with a smile.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful and these men have been very helpful. Look at all this. It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest. He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
And then Luke steps in. She stops, looking at the upper ceiling where Mr. Wright comes through with 2 other movers and a mirror from the study.
Oh, do be careful with that mirror. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it. If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there. Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out if we'll store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
The movers bring the mirror one step at a time, no matter how much the man tells them to hurry. An unsettling feeling grows in my stomach as I see our reflection in the bloody thing. And I look away, not wishing to risk anything. If I see Lorraine's image in the mirror now, I wouldn't know what the hell I'd do, right? I don't have the luxury of privacy right now, and I'm not going to break down in front of all of these people. As soon as they go into the kitchen, I realize I'm holding my breath. I let out a huge sigh of relief when I think nobody's looking, and I go back to my task at hand. It'll be a terribly busy day, and there's no need for me to even think of anything else. I talk with the foreman, fill him in which room is which. It seems I'm doomed to not get any significant work done without being interrupted when it comes to these particular clients, however.
Marianne, dear, have you had breakfast yet? Well, I do believe it would be considered brunch at this hour.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Wright.
You must join me. Johans has already been breaking in the kitchen, as they say. I do not see the others settling down for a meal anytime soon. Someone might as well enjoy the food while it's hot. And that someone might as well be us.
I should say no. I really must say no. But the way she just smiles at me makes it really difficult to do so. Look at how ridiculous I'm being. Acting like a silly, nervous schoolgirl with a crush. It's just brunch. And who am I to say no to a client? That would be so impolite to do so. Yeah, she's convincing herself to give in. It's not like I'm going to agree because of anything other than propriety. I'm not agreeing just because she batted her pretty eyelashes at me just now.
If you insist.
And it really isn't any of those. Really, is she trying to convince us or herself? Just wondered. But it's something about her eyes, rather. It looks like she needs a good talk. A friend. And although I'm not supposed to be chummy with my client, there's no harm in pretending, right? So we're in the mansion parlor in the morning. Of course, I've been wrong on many occasions before. Maybe there is plenty of harm in pretending like I care. Because pretending I care might lead to actually caring. Being alone in the same room as the missus leaves me reeling, as I find myself paying way too much attention to her. It seems so borderline unhealthy how much I'm getting obsessed, even if it's just by looking at her. And it's the little insignificant things that I notice, like the way she plays with her hair, or how she smooths down her dress.
Up, higher, come on now!
And Whiskey's annoying voice in the other room helps me pull back to the ground. I'm just looking, aren't I? I know that someone like her wouldn't even look at someone like me. Still, there's some time to turn around this bad decision I made.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright. But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Nonsense! You arrived so early, you must not have gotten a proper meal. Sit. I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now.
Her concern is sweet, as is her smile. But I'm really not here for idle chit-chat, something I keep forgetting. We're both distracted when the food arrives, and it's enough for me to stay, at least until the meal is over. Yeah. No more, no less, I'm just being polite. Thankfully, the conversation steers into a topic I'm comfortable with, work. And this goes on for a bit, and I can't be more relieved. Most people don't understand calling me a workaholic, but I choose to work in a field I'm enthusiastic about. So what if my career is also my hobby?
But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
Mhm.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg.
That's
Luke
funny.
wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
Wait, doesn't she own the house? I'm pretty sure... Wait a minute, I have no business with it though. It's theirs to hash out. But apparently, the momentary confusion had been visible on my face.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, so what else is there to it? Without warning, this nice friendly chat devolved into something just horrible. Something sad.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
She sounds so nervous. Like, yeah, she definitely sounds nervous talking to Hannah. Like, maybe, like, inadequate.
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
She got mad. We heard her hand slam down. Wow. Despite my general dislike of the upper class, I sometimes feel pity for them. They may have all the money in the world where material things aren't a problem, but they don't even see what they've become, where they've ended up, or what they've done most of the time. They're shut down by their own trap, forced to play along with society's expectations, and do anything to stay where they are, and to keep what they have. A world where even people feel or are treated like they are more possessions. Yeah? I can see that. When someone is at the top, the only way for them is to go down. I've worked with many Hannahs and Lukes and Whiskeys, and I've never been one of them. I don't pretend to understand their world any deeper than that. I merely know what I've witnessed before. She looks lost, speechless at how she betrayed herself. My pity for the likes of her returns. Nothing but pity moves me as I speak before she can say anything else that might ruin or break her.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you.
Yep.
And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs, if anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
She's already given you that. She's already told you that. The way she practically begs me to keep quiet about it is disheartening. I have no plans of speaking about anything I hear, especially if it is about their private affairs. But the way she looks at me, the way she just expects some sort of fallout because of this, it makes my heart clench.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have any other choice anyway, do I?
Thank you.
And when the last of the food and drink is gone, the door opens as if on cue.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
You know that.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
She stands up to leave, and all I want to do is reassure her again to prove that I am someone that she can trust. But when she looks back my way, I didn't fight the smile that found its way on my face. I feel giddy. But the feeling dies down afterwards as I sober up. Oh well, back to work. See, it's almost like Hannah's beauty puts her in like a high, you know, giddy and high and, you know, kind of just like a big time crush, you know, like when you were a teenager and you had some big crush and you would, you know, go home and do stupid shit because you're thinking and fantasizing about the crush that you have, you know, I'm talking about when you're a young teenager or whatever, and people do stupid shit like, you know, come home and put their homework in the refrigerator instead of putting their, you know, lunch pail in the refrigerator or whatever. Yeah. In the morning time, still at the mansion, soon enough I find myself drawn to the kitchen where the right butler has returned to. Yeah, let's hope she doesn't hear anything on this hatch, like Hannah did many episodes ago. He's already claimed the space and telling movers to back off, and no one dares to question his proclamation either.
My kitchen. No kinder allowed. Little men running around with knives especially.
Huh, the hell?
We do not want any accidents to happen now, do we? Good? Good.
I mean, it is a knife-wielding German standing there. I don't think anyone would be insane enough to refuse his request.
I hope I meet the age restriction, or at least the height restriction, because I'm asking to be let in here.
You are allowed inside, McCulloch, but not the little ones.
A shake of my head and a roll of my eyes is all I give them. It's not like I'm going to be any trouble for him. I just need to look around and get my bearings here. The breakfast had been distraction enough. I don't even want to think about what we just talked about. I just needed to get my head straight and get back to work. Now we're in the afternoon of Wednesday. The movers work efficiently, even when they're left alone, and they do quick work of their responsibilities. The head foreman comes, standing in the doorway to consult me on this and that, and I have to go help every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up to standards. They skip lunch entirely, not even realizing when they do so. Nevertheless, all is well as the butler gets up to heating up some leftover bubble and sweet from breakfast and makes a generous batch of fish and chips for them. Most likely simple in comparison to what he serves to the right, but well done nonetheless.
That smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It's an idle observation more than anything. My thoughts, as they are, preoccupy me.
If there are any left. One can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them. Even my husband. And he's American.
Okay. I really do hate getting up so close and personal with my clients. It's just a distraction. It is obvious to me that I've gotten my priorities all wrong when I can't help but think about what I just heard and what I learned about the right couple. These things have a way of creeping up on a person. Thoughts, ideas, whether they are fact or fiction. They creep up and fester. They crawl and writhe in a way that twists. I hear giggling, delighted, and mocking. They creep up and... The sensation of fingers ghostly briefing... Wait a minute. The sensation of fingers ghosting briefly on my arm causes me to freeze and hiss.
Don't!
Oh boy. I half expect her to be there.
Whoa, no need to scream bloody murder. It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
Well, I can see why she got a feeling of the creeps and, like, you know, something awful and evil was near her, Luke walked in. Just saying. But it's just whiskey.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being scared, though I don't believe in the likes of spooks. Being startled is not on top of the list of the things Marianne liked. Lucky for him, I have nothing within reach, or he would have gotten a friendly terms with something, like a rolling pin. Oh my.
What was with that reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johan's been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people.
Oh my.
Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
And the butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotion on his face to begin with since I started working for the Wrights, aside from vague amusement. There must have been something there, though, judging from Mr. Wright's own content look. The expression on Mr. Wright's face is almost cruel. But neither of them spoke, even as Johannes leaves the room to serve the workers their late lunch.
So, now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Yeah?
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
That's a boring way to look at it, but that's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be a relief, actually, if those rumors of this place being haunted are true. That just means I'm not going crazy. Hearing, let alone seeing, a dead person isn't exactly the symptoms of a healthy mind. Boy, isn't she speaking the truth there, huh? Sure, it means there would be such things as ghosts and goblins, but at least I'd be sane, right? I can certainly understand her logic there. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead girl walking around.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
A simple enough question on the surface, yet I notice the man stiffen as the question leaves my mouth. Yeah, he knows there's weird shit going on there. Maybe he's in denial? Maybe he's just lying? I don't know. Lying to himself? I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watching his reaction intently, but in his eyes I see something. I see something dangerous.
That depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
Oh my god, he's such a smartass.
Well, maybe that, but no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really. Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it. But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
A dead teenager would technically qualify as strange, yeah? But yeah, the whole I see dead people thing isn't going to go over very well. Yeah, she's not about to tell him about being her dead ex-girlfriend.
None that I know of. But I'll inform Johans immediately if something comes up.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern he has on his face of security is quickly gone. His arrogant, smug smirk returns, if a bit subdued. Whatever smarmy remark or innuendo he has at the ready never comes through, as voices from the dining hall ring out.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Okay, so we hear Hannah asking somebody about a full-time job.
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job.
So she's talking to Zach. I can tell that's Zach's voice.
It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least not all the time.
That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As always, Miss Wright talks in such a kind and cheery fashion no matter who she's talking to. It certainly puts people at ease around her, and it sounds like it's working on the photographer as well. Hearing them, though, puts Mr. Wright in a sour mood. At least if his small scowl is anything to go by. Yep. Is he jealous? Try to lighten the mood? Ask if he's alright. Let's ask if he's alright. I think she's pretty blunt. I think that's probably what she would do. Because that's what I can see her doing. He's here. Are you alright?
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey? You're looking like you need a serious drink.
What is it that you want to do then?
So she asked Zach what he wants to do, like as a job.
Films. Documentaries mostly.
He wants to do films and documentaries.
But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
I'm fine. Just a bit winded from all that moving about. It's been a long day.
And the day's not over yet. So if you can excuse the bluntness, you either shape up to help or ship out back to your room and let us do the rest of the work.
Wow, he hesitates, eyes locked firmly on the door that led me to the dining hall. Even now, we can still hear Miss Wright and the photographer chit-chat in between shots.
It's not my place to say this, but she really does seem to care a lot about you, you know?
There's no need to remind me of that.
A strange smile appears on his face before he shuts his eyes and sighs.
Tell the workers that you're all dismissed early.
That's nice and all, Whiskey, but we really shouldn't just take off. Delays aren't a good thing when it comes to big projects like these. The sooner we tackle certain issues, the better.
And I trust you can take care of these issues another day. Don't make me ask again, Mint.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, he is the boss.
Just tell the others they can go home early, and to not worry, they'll still get paid the remaining hours.
I don't know what prompted this. He's jealous. He wants the conversation between Hannah and Zach to end, or he wants to, get on her ass. And with the air he's putting on, though, I know better than to meddle and prod any further. Besides...
Fine, you're the boss.
Yep, he is a boss. In the afternoon now, Wednesday, walking out of the kitchen, I just accept the fact that whatever he says will go while under his roof. Miss Wright and the photographer are still far too busy in conversation to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I didn't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
And going to the foyer has me stumble upon the family butler once more, who raises a brow at my presence.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
And I don't doubt that. So now we're in the evening time of Wednesday. My ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there are some difficulties at first because the driver didn't know where the Ermengrad mansion is. He tried to have us hand over the GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other technological, but I didn't care, and the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him that it's the haunted mansion over in the Anselm village, he knew just the place. And finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about that place giving him the willies. So the driver of the taxi is creeped out by the thought of the mansion. It gives me the willies too. I would have loved to just snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurs to me, another blossoms in the forefront of my mind. One has somehow bothered me greatly, more than my exasperation over whiskey and this project, or wanting all of it to just stop. There has been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today at all. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning. Searching for her. Jamu, Yorthi, loose ends, fucking bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already moved past this years ago. And it does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I want a stiff drink. And where else do I go to drink? The pub. The pub where she first met Whiskey and called him Whiskey for Luke. Tuesdays are for karaoke and Wednesdays the improv. Usually it's these four guys who did hilarious games. The one with Irish drinking songs are always a crowd favorite. Though I love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing, and without Cam or Harana or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really, really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G, come over here! I need you for something!
Oh boy. And it's a good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I'd probably have been kicked out of the other places by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, all he would do is give me an easy smile and a shake of his head, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like right now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
On her. He's some Asian guy. And I'm pretty sure I've seen him before a couple of times, although he never talks to anyone else except G. The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away. Okay.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Asian Joe, huh?
All right. What is it? Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine!
Oh boy, she doesn't need more, it doesn't sound like.
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
And a whine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away from me. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Yeah, no shit. She's actually thinking about hopping over in a drunken state that she's in, she's actually thinking about hopping over the bar to get the bottles that he's trying to refrain from her. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. Exactly. But that doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and just shakes his head, just like I know he would before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
And with no drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right there and right then. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to track back home just yet.
Same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Yep. So this is not. I don't think this looks like Ash, but maybe it's not Ash.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati.
Right?
So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
And their talk would have interested me. Would have kept my attention if I gave a damn. But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about the things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned it out, if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy.
Yep, this is definitely Ash.
And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking Wright. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about this guy. What an absolute fuck. Or what the absolute fuck. Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up.
Is this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Yeah.
Private conversation here, lady.
And there's only amusement on G's face. The Asian guy? He starts to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
What?
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need.
Huh.
Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
Yeah, so she's gonna say that. That's gonna get Ash's attention, I think.
So she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Wow.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11". Can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here.
What the hell?
What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. Wow. She is drunk. Yeah, I don't think Ash is going to have much of that. But when he shakes me off, I plop into a seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of you. But you're still standing after all that, are you? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow.
That's too funny.
I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes.
Oh my god. She has to hiccup between right in the middle of saying her last name. Marianne McKick-Cola. That's so funny.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
Now remember, she is in a drunken state, but remember, she promised Hannah just earlier in the day that she would give no information about Hannah and Luke's affairs. So we need to remember that going forward with whatever she says here. To Ash.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
Yeah, blame the beer. Never take any responsibility for your own words or actions. Just always blame the alcohol. That's one thing that's always pissed me off about people. People that get drunk on a regular basis, you know? They will blame the alcohol. They'll get in a car and drive drunk and then hit somebody or get in a car wreck and kill somebody and not take any responsibility for getting drunk themselves or choosing to drive drunk. No, it's always the alcohol's fault. Or, even worse, and probably even more common, is they will go off in a relationship or a marriage and cheat. They'll go to a bar, they'll get drunk, they'll come home and drink, whatever, and they will cheat on their significant other, and then they always blame the alcohol. Oh, it wasn't me, my dear. It was the alcohol that did it. It was the alcohol that made my hormones rage. It was the alcohol that made me cheat. It wasn't my fault. Nobody wants to take any responsibility for anything as it is these days. But you add alcohol to that mix, and people never want to take any kind of responsibility for anything they do while they're drunk. Well, you're the one that chose to get plastered. And that's something I've always said. Anyway, that was the beer talking, not Marianne wanting to give up gossip about Luke.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
I like that. You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating.
She's having a hard time with her words, and she's definitely putting fucking in a lot of words. I do that too, though.
One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
And I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up and I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut tight just because. Eventually, cracking one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep, and I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How's she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good.
Oh my god.
Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then? Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Oh my. She is drunk. Oh, here we go. Flipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. What, 2 weeks ago? It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behavior? What? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort.
Yeah, I don't think she's offering a lot of help to Ash here, asking her questions.
What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. If feelings had a taste, it'd be bitterer than the beer that I'm full of. And it gets me thinking, though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shit in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something. As och day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke.
Damn.
Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling ya. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
And before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and everything starts to spin. Yeah, because Santos, she's talking about Isabella, I think. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up chucking on your pretty hair.
Oh my.
But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails.
Yep.
And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking right, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either.
Huh.
I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere.
Oh my.
When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway,
I think you're just drunk.
Just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
He is really pale. Paler than before, at least. Yeah, because that's his best friend. Isabella's. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shoves a card in my hand. The Luxborn Police Department, Ashton Frey. Yep. On it, his name, Ashton Frey, and his phone number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
And the guy is quick on his feet, already up at him as soon as the numbers leave his lips. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pub goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's long gone. Just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Huh.
Pretty much.
That's funny.
But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Alright. Demon unlocked, swimming in cocktails. Mumbling a sleepy thinks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already, I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position, right? You can hear her snoring. That's fucking hilarious. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh shit. Here we go again, guys. Here we go again. And with that, guys, I know we haven't got the full Wednesday done yet, but we are right at the hour mark, and I want to have you guys excited to tune in for more in part 15, live stream under the Moonshine number 307. So we're going to go ahead and stop this right here as she is falling asleep in a drunken state in the bar, I guess on a sofa or whatever in the bar. And she's going right back into where we started this whole episode and this part off at. Creepy as freaking hell. So I definitely look forward to playing this again. Hopefully you look forward to the next episode, the next part that I read. Thanks so much for being here, guys. This has been Zaxter99, and we'll get right back into whatever the hell she's dreaming about in the pub in a drunken state. Should be good. And we'll do that next time. We'll see you in the next video, everybody. This has been Zaxxon, and I have a good one. Peace.